My name is Jeremy Kemp. I'm the Director of Product Sales and Marketing here at MC, and I have with me Joe Shulfer, the President of MC. The Fusion Series is a mixed flow style dryer featuring 6 models with capacity ranges from 600 bushels per hour all the way up to 1700 bushels per hour. That's heat and cool, 5-point removal. And the reason I have Joe Shulfer with me, not only is the president of the company, this has really been his baby. He was the first person to suggest an additional mixed flow line, and he's been a big part of driving the requirements. He had a vision on day one, and he's the appropriate person to kind of answer what is the Fusion Series going to look like, what are the features, and why did we come to the conclusion that we came to. So with that, I want to ask Joe the first and most obvious question. Joe, how does the Fusion Series fit into our current dryer lineup?
Good question, Jeremy. I would just start by saying we're building off the success that we've obtained so far with our Delta Series. You know, we have satisfied customers, we have dryers that are doing what we say they'll do, and we are posting good sales as well. However, like any of our other products, we don't always have a one-size-fits-all type machine. We are the grain dryer specialist. We offer all the different types of dryers out there: vacuum-cooled towers, low-profile dryers, expandable dryers, now mixed flows. Because we don't have that one-size-fits-all design, we're developing the Fusion Series, which is focusing on more cost competitiveness, as well as expandability and some other features that we're going to talk about here shortly.
Okay, and that leads right into what would be my second question. It would be, Joe, tell me specifically, what is the feature set of the Fusion Series mixed flow dryer?
So one of the things that we set out for on day one when developing this product is we wanted to value engineer this design from the ground up. So we are targeting a cost competitive set of dryer models that will target different growers, different producers out there that maybe don't have the budget that would justify buying a Delta Series. That doesn't mean we're making a cheap dryer, we're just value engineering it. When there's overkill maybe on some of our other designs, we're scaling it back a little bit and just focusing on the core essentials to make this dryer function well. Also, single phase options is a big thing. We're targeting smaller farms, smaller producers, and so having easily adaptable single phase design is going to make this product stand out from the Delta Series. So we don't need to focus on expensive VFDs, large DC power supplies, or rotary phase converters, or anything like that. Everything's going to be compatible with single phase motors. Also, the Delta Series doesn't have the ability to expand the dryer over time. The Fusion Series is going to allow that on all the base models. The F320, the F480, and the F660 will all be able to have an additional module added on in the field. Also, with the Delta Series, we have one large heat chamber and a bottom chamber that can run in heat if you want to, and thus get an all-heat type of dryer. The Fusion Series will have, depending on what model you're talking about, either 3 or 4 plenums, all of which can be independently controlled from a temperature standpoint.
How are we going to produce what will likely be a lot more mixed flow dryers? How are we going to get it done?
Well, Jeremy, as you know, when we walk through the plant, I can show you all of the things that we've done in our factory to increase our production capacity. Number one, a couple years ago, we expanded on our factory and added a dedicated mixed flow production line that's complete with 3 separate fixtures for building mixed flow sections. We put in some new overhead gantry cranes, and most recently, late in 2020, early 2021, we just installed our second laser cutting machine, which is allowing us to cut sheet metal at a rate of 3 times faster than we were able to with our single laser in the past. So when we have both of these lasers in operation, the net result is about 4 times the steel cutting capacity. So we've invested a lot in our operation to support the continued and increasing demand for not only our mixed flow dryers, but our dryers in general.
I like that. That makes sense, and I can vouch for everything Joe's saying. I saw it firsthand. I saw the Delta line, or mixed flow line, come about, and saw how that completely changed the process of building mixed flow dryers here at MC. And I am also very confident that we'll be able to build as many dryers as you can sell. But having two mixed flow lines does complicate things a little bit. So let's talk about another potential hangup. What about lead times? What is this going to do to mixed flow lead times? Being able to make the dryers is one thing. Being able to deliver them to dealers in time to get them in place for harvest is equally as important.
Yeah, Jeremy, you know, there's nothing more frustrating than identifying a buyer of a dryer and you're not able to deliver on a timeline that's acceptable to them. So when we set out the list of requirements that we were looking for in the Fusion series, one of the higher ranking items was we wanted to make sure we could deliver these machines with a shorter lead time. And the way we are going about doing that is twofold. Number one, all of the expansions and upgrades and new equipment that I just talked about in our factory is definitely going to help. But number two, and probably most importantly, is we are going to be integrating into the Fusion series design the fans and the burners that we use in our Eco series. And these are components that we have on our shelf every day because we crank out so many Eco Series dryers in any given year. We have this material on hand. It's going to allow us to turn around Fusion Series orders a lot faster than we would see with the Delta Series.
What did we do that's going to make their lives easier?
Yeah, great question, Jeremy. When we set out to make this product line more cost competitive, we weren't just thinking about Mathews Company, we're also thinking about our dealers. So what we tried to do from day one is develop a machine that's going to require fewer hours in the field, fewer days in the field to install these machines. And so some of the things that we've done, we've made the design so modular that the majority of the assembly is done in our factory. So that means the module where all the tiers are installed, the fans, the burners, even the service platforms. Our intention is to make all that in our factory so that really all you need to do in the field is stack this machine. We believe that you'll be able to stack and get a Fusion series operational in about half the time as a Delta series. So that's really important. The other thing that we really focused on when developing the Fusion with dealers in mind, as well as end users too, is making it as maintenance friendly and accessible as possible. So as we get into some of the details and you start taking a closer look at this design, you're going to see we eliminated some unnecessary ladders to climb the back of the dryer and the front of the dryer. We made it so that you don't have to go up one set of ladder to access the front of the machine or the rear ladder to access the back. We made it so you can go up one ladder and access everything you ever need to do, whether that's fans or burners or get inside the plenum or access the rotary bin switch or an in-feed moisture sensor at the top of the dryer. We really tried to put the dealers top of mind as well as the end users from an operation and maintenance standpoint.
So when would you offer a dryer that is Fusion series to a customer, and when would you offer the Delta series? That was one of the initial concerns I had from a sales perspective. Is this going to confuse dealers? Is it going to confuse customers? So I want to throw that question to Joe and see what his response is. What do you think, Joe? How would you present a Delta versus a Fusion?
The Delta series, you're going to have those heavy duty commercial grade inline centrifugal fans. It's going to have that dedicated external heat chamber to mix the air and the heat before it's even introduced into the plenum. The Fusion series, on the other hand, we're focusing on a value engineered solution that has a lower price point. It does, however, have features that the Delta series doesn't have, with independent plenum temperature control. It's going to be expandable. There's always going to be pros and cons to all the different models that we offer. Our goal is just to give you the insight and the knowledge about the Fusion series and the Delta series, explain that to your customer, and hopefully you guys can mutually make a decision that's a best fit for their application.
Hey, that sounds great. And one of the things to keep in mind is, regardless of whether you go with the Delta series or the Fusion series, all MCs have a lot of strength. Starting with our mix flows, we've got the proprietary mix flow technology, we've got our proprietary burners, Pinnacle 2020 controls, MC tracks, and you've got the backing of us and you, our MC dealers. And Joe, do our dryers hit their capacities?
Yes, they do. And that's one of the things that you won't have to worry about, whether it's an Eco series, a Fusion series, or a Delta series. We always hit our mark with our capacities, and this product line is going to be no exception.